Welcome to the Red Light Special, a slow burn for your soul. Real voice notes, real feelings, real healing. I'm Elaine Renee. Let's get into it. Before we dive in to the topic at hand, let's do a mental health check. Take a deep breath. How are you feeling today? Be honest with yourself. I'll go first. I'm feeling excited to get this information out to help people understand the information I'm about to share. And maybe they can better understand me, themselves, and other people. So there's some excitement on my end. Now, let's move on to the topic at hand. Today, I am talking about ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. In October of 2024, I was diagnosed with several neurodevelopmental conditions. I don't want to use the word mental issues, mental illness. I don't want to use that. It's such a negative connotation to it. So I don't want to use that. But like I said, back in October of 2024, I was diagnosed with several different mental illnesses. I just said I don't want to use that. I'm gonna say neurodevelopmental conditions, and one of those conditions was ADHD. ADHD is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects how the brain regulates attention, impulses, and activity levels. It's not just a lack of focus or being hyper. It's a real brain-based condition that affects executive function, which is the brain's self-management system. It is not a sign of laziness or a lack of intelligence. It's about the brain working differently, not worse. There are 3 different types of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. You have your inattentive type, which is mostly found in females. You have your hyperactive type or hyperactive and impulsive type, which can be mostly found in males. And then you have the combination of the two. With me, I have a combination of the two. I'm very inattentive. Mine's is more mental, the inattentiveness, but there is a hyperactiveness when I'm trying to sit still. I can't sit still. I have to be doing something. I have to be watching TV or and scrolling, or I had to be scrolling social media, or I need to be talking, or I can't just sit still. I have to be doing something. So that's where my hyperactivity shows up at. I remember thinking, you have a lot of children, and you see it in boys a lot that have it, where they're just real hyperactive, like they just can't be still. And I just, you just remember thinking, oh my God, they so bad. They just won't be still. And it's just like, no, they're not bad. They're hyperactive. They have a condition. So the core inattentive symptoms are difficulty focusing, organizing, and following through, often misses details or makes careless mistakes. Now this don't really pertain to me because I'm a perfectionist. Um so I'm not gonna say I don't make mistakes, but because I'm such a perfectionist, I try my damnedest not to make mistakes. Struggles to sustain attention in tasks or conversations. You'll notice this a lot in my podcast. If you pay attention, I will jump from one thing to another. And that's why I wanted to do this podcast too, so you can understand who you're listening to and why I might seem scatterbrained. Um, Another inattentive symptom is doesn't seem to listen even when spoken to directly. Um, I do that a lot where somebody might be talking to me. I have to really, really work extra hard to focus in on somebody because any little thing can take my attention away. Um, Something around me might take my attention away, or the thought of something I need to do or I didn't do take my attention away very quickly. Difficulty with organizing tasks and managing time. I don't really have an issue with that one right there. It seems like I started driving the school bus back in 2005, and with driving a school bus, you it was imperative that you ran on time. And so doing that for so long really got me to where I'm very time conscious and like to show up to things on time. So time is I don't have an issue with managing my time. Avoids tasks that requires the sustained mental effort. Frequently loses things. Again, we're still talking about inattentive symptoms. Frequently loses things. Easily distracted by external stimuli or random thoughts. That is me all the time. Forgetfulness. This is a big one for me. I remember as a child being very forgetful, and I would get in trouble for it. I forget to do my chores. I forget to lay my clothes out at night. Or I might forget, I might forget to do something I was told to do, and I would get in trouble for it. And it's like, when I think about it, think about childhood traumas and things, um, it just, I hate that I hate that I feel like I just got in trouble for something that was out of my control. Like, I didn't intentionally not do the things I was told to do. I literally just forgot to do them. And now hindsight 2020, now I get it. Like, and then when you think about it, the way the ADHD brain works and how it bounces and it's just always going, 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 it's no wonder that a person can be forgetful. But we'll come back to forgetfulness. Some core symptoms of the hyperactivity. Excessive energy or movement that feels hard to control. Fidgets, taps hands or feet, or squirms in seat. Now this is me as well. Like I really have a hard time sitting still. Like in meetings and things like that, it's really hard for me. And I remember when the fidget spinner came out some years ago. Who would have known that I needed that damn fidget spinner? I have one in my wallet now that I use to help me um calm my nervous system when I'm in some type of situation that I don't have a lot of stimuli, so I could, self-soothe. Leave seat when remaining seated is expected. Runs or climbs in inappropriate situations for feels internally restless. Struggles to play or relax quietly, often on the go or acts as if driven by a motor, talks excessively. The talking excessively. That's not all the time with me. That's not all the time with me. Um, there is a possibility that I'm on the cusp of being bipolar. And I wouldn't say being on the cusp. It is possible that I'm bipolar as well. The only reason why it's not written in stone is because I can't never keep up with how long I'm in a manic state. But when I'm in a manic state is when I talk excessively. Like fast, excessively, nonstop. Core symptoms of impulsivity. Acts without thinking or interrupts frequently. Blurts out answers before questions are completed. Has difficulty waiting their turn in line in conversation. Interrupts or intrudes on others' conversations, games, activities. May take risks without considering the consequences. I truly have a problem with impulsivity. I am very impulsive. I am very bad about um interrupting. I had where it says has difficulty waiting their turn in line or in conversation. I had like in conversation I have that problem. Um so where I have a hard time waiting my turn to speak in a conversation. And so I find myself interrupting people. But part of that is I have to get it out before I forget it. Cause I will fucking forget it. Whatever it is I got to say, like, let me get it out right now because I'm gonna forget it. May take risks without considering the consequences. My impulsivity has really put me in financial um situations, like bad financial situations because of being impulsive. Um it's I got the habit. No, I see it, I want it right now. And yeah, now let me say this before I finish my sentence. My bills will get paid. One thing about it, I'm gonna pay my bills. But if I see something I want and I want it now, I might defer the bill and get the thing that I want and put the bill off. And now I might have to pay a late fee because I paid the bill late, or just um my most recent financial troubles is believing in the business, not having the money to put into the business, and then I go and pawn the title to my car, which these fucking title pawn people are predatory than a motherfucker. Like, you'll be paying on that shit forever and it'll never go, your balance will never go down. Anywho, that's another situation. But that just goes to show how impulsive I can get. I've really been working hard on my impulsivity. But yeah, that's a real bad one for me. Other symptoms of ADHD: aggression, irritable, lack of restraint. We already talked about forgiveness. Repetition of words or actions. Now, I'm bad about that. I find myself repeating myself several times. Um, and I never understood why I did that. But now that I have this diagnosis, a lot of things make a lot of sense now. Overexcitement, boredom, anxiety, mood swings, depression, hyperfocus, insomnia, hypersensitive to sensory stimulation. Example: music, feeling, dirt on skin, certain smells can cause my stomach to be upset. Um, yeah, they're hypersensitive to sensory stimulation. Uh, when I was younger, I didn't like to put on lotion because I didn't like how lotion felt on my skin. It made me feel dirty. And then I finally found a lotion that I could deal with, which was the baby Johnson & Johnson baby lotion, or the baby magic lotion. They were so lightweight that I didn't feel it on my skin. Um, I don't like to walk around my apartment barefoot because I don't like to feel the dirt under my feet. When I'm cooking, I'm constantly rinsing my fingers off because I don't like for the juices or the seasoning or the rice, or I just don't like the stuff on my hands. It just feels weird. Music. Um, I feel music. Like, in some music I feel it so intensely that I get goosebumps. Uh, and it's getting to where I can't even, like, I feel music and can't sit still. Like, if I feel it, I'm gonna get up and move to it. I just Music does something to me. Um Here's another hypersensitive sensory stimulation. I can visually be watching TV and, like, say somebody poop or something, or I see the poop, I can see it on the TV and then start getting sick to my stomach because I can smell it. And so it's like, I start gagging like, "Ooh, I smell it." Like, it's weird. It's weird. Other symptoms of ADHD: imaginative, easily distracted, no follow through, procrastination, um, and overreacting. ADHD is not a flaw in your character. It's a different operating system. One with incredible strengths, creative brilliance, and unconventional thinking, deep intuition and emotional insight, ability to hyper focus on what you care about deeply, a strong sense of justice, empathy, and connection, big vision, energy, dreaming in ways others can't imagine. Yeah, I'm very dreamy. My imagination is off the chain, and because my imagination is so off the chain, it helps me to manifest things in life. But that's neither here nor there. We're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about manifestation another time. Okay, so now we want to get into some of the ADHD common terms and concepts. And basically, um, I'm just going through the research that I've done. But what I'm trying to do is give you if I give you a term or a concept, I'm gonna give you an example on how it works for me if I can, so you can better understand it. So, okay, first concept: time blindness. A distorted sense of time, how long something takes, how long you've been doing it, or when something is due. You might feel like time either doesn't exist or is rushing past you. Struggle to estimate how long a task will take. Be habitually early, late, or lose track of time completely. Um, the time blindness. Um, as far as like being on time, for the most part, I'm gonna be on time. Um, but sometimes I do estimate. I do have a hard time estimating how long the task will take. Um, or I will lose track of time, especially when I get hyper focused on something. The next term, task paralysis, feeling mentally frozen when facing a task, especially on what's unclear, overwhelmingly, or emotionally charged. You might feel shame or guilt for doing nothing, know what needs to be done, but feel stuck, or start 10 things and finish none. Now this is me. I remember a few years ago, um, my mama told me, she was like, "You always start stuff, but you never finish anything." And at first, you don't be wanting nobody to tell you nothing negative about you, so I didn't receive it. I was like, "Well, well, at least I start stuff." But then, I started going to counseling, and my therapist, she said the same thing. And once I got diagnosed, it's like, oh, no wonder Is so now that I have this awareness, I really get frozen up mentally. I really freeze up mentally now. Because especially when I want to start something, like it took me forever to start this podcast because my biggest fear is that I'm gonna start it and not finish it. And so I froze and I prolonged starting it. So I do that a lot. Um I do be feeling guilty for not doing things. But at the same time I feel like I'm experiencing a burnout. So it's like I'm tired and I don't want to do nothing, but then I feel guilty because I'm not doing nothing. So yeah, that's task paralysis. Hyperfocus is another concept of ADHD. Hyperfocus, an intense, immersive focus where time disappears, usually on something interesting or emotionally engaging. You might get so absorbed you forget to eat, pee, or respond to messages. Do brilliant work but burn out afterwards. Feel like you can't choose what you hyper focus on, it just happens. Now that hyper focus, I will hyper focus in a minute. Especially, oh, I was good at that at work. Like, okay, I got to answer all these phone calls. I'm just gonna just focus on doing that and I'll get lost in time. And then it's like once I get focused on doing it, I'm not gonna go use the bathroom. I'm not gonna eat. I have to get the task done. And now that I'm focused on it, let's not break my focus. Let's keep going until it's done. And I will do that. And it's good, but then it's not. Cause then you holding your bladder. It's not good to hold your bladder. And you ain't ate all day. And your whole day done went by and you haven't taken care of your body because you're so focused on the task at hand. But the positive side is shit get done. That project that you wanted, that you said, you give me 2 days to do, I done did it in motherfucking 5 hours because I done hyper focus on it and I ain't took no break to pee. I ain't did nothing. I just focused on that project. And instead of doing it in 2 days, I got it done in fucking 6 hours. Like, brilliant stuff, man. Brilliant stuff. Um, Another concept, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, an extreme emotional sensitivity to perceived criticism, rejection, or failure, even minor ones. You might feel crushed by a text with no emoji or a neutral tone. Overthink what people mean, spiral into shame, or withdraw suddenly. Yeah, I most definitely this one's kind of hard to explain, but I do tend to try to analyze what somebody said. If you say it with a certain tone or a certain space within your words, or I'd be like, no, you meant something else with that. What did you mean? And it's like, girl, calm down. Let me see. An extreme emotional sensitivity to perceived criticism. I don't like criticism, but I know that growth is criticism is a part of growth. So I would take criticism, rejection, and failure. No, I can't fail, and I don't like to be rejected, and I don't like confrontation. And it be extreme. Like, um, I don't like for people to come and tell me what nobody say about me, because I know how I am. I'm going to think about it and think about it and obsess about it and try to figure out why, and wonder if I said something, if I did something. Um, don't come and tell me what nobody said about me. Keep that shit to yourself, cause I got enough on my mental plate. I don't need nothing else added on to it. Emotional dysregulation is an intense emotional reaction to no, hold on, let me start over. Emotional dysregulation. An intense emotional reactions that feel hard to control or come on quickly. You might cry unexpectedly or get irritable fast. Feels like emotions last longer than they should. Struggle to calm down from anger, anxiety, or overwhelm. Yes. Now, this emotional dysregulation, the smallest thing will set me off. I remember working with uh one of my ex supervisors, and I get worked up about something and go to him about it, and he's like, it ain't that serious. Uh and it's like, it ain't that serious to you, but it's that serious to me. And it's like, it's that serious to me because of how my brain is wired. And so the littlest thing will set me off, and you would think that, like, I like, I don't know, it just be the smallest thing, like, working with this supervisor. I will go to him about somebody, one of my coworkers not doing what they supposed to do. Um, and especially if it affects me, I'm really like, so it's like, um, I'm trying to tread lightly, so people won't, if I say certain things, people won't know who I'm talking about. But I'm trying to give an example. Um, but anywho, let's just say this: the smallest thing, it could be the smallest. Somebody done cut their eyes at me, and I'm like, dang, I ain't do nothing to you. What they cut their eyes at me for? I ain't do nothing with you. And now I'm all, and it's like, yo, calm down. Like, it ain't even that serious. But to me, it be that serious. Like, for real. Anywho, let me go on to the next one. Doom pile clutter buildup. That chair full of laundry, the unopened mail, the bag you haven't unpacked. ADHD clutter is often a result of task switching. Yes. Exhaustion. You might start cleaning, but get distracted and move to something else. Feel shame for not keeping up with adulting. Procrastinate on cleaning because it's emotionally overwhelming. Now, this is me. I wash my clothes and I don't feel like folding them, so they'll be in my laundry basket, or I might put them in my chair. And then the clothes I take off, like, I don't mix dirty clothes with clean clothes, but shit'll just accumulate. Shit'll just accumulate. My, daily shit that I do, or I take out my bag and I just lay it in the chair and shit just fucking accumulate. And I have the doom piles. But then it's like, I have to, I have to, it's, it's so, it's a fucking struggle. Cause it's like, yes, I need to clean up, but what is the executive dysfunction? What is it? If I got it there yet. Yeah, we ain't got the executive dysfunction. Like, I just struggle with doing something. This podcast gonna be a long one because I want to make sure I go through everything so people can understand it. Low dopamine drive. Dopamine is a motivation and reward brain chemical. ADHD brains have lower irregular dopamine, making it hard to feel motivated unless the task is new, challenging, urgent, interesting. You might procrastinate on important but boring things. Be a deadline chaser, thrives in crisis. Feel flat or numb until something sparks excitement. That is so true. And I feel like that's why I worked really well in the transportation industry. It really was conducive to my active brain. Um Especially when I got into management and I had to meet deadlines, I was good at thriving in crisis. Um, Transportation crisis. I like, you know, um, but I do procrastinate. That's like now where I'm at in life now. I'm no longer work. Well, prior to February, I wasn't working, and I was trying to, work for myself by doing deliveries. And what I would do instead of going out here to work every day, because mind you, I'm burnt out. Like, I'm like ADHD brain burnt out. And then I'm going through a spiritual awakening. So I feel just tired and restless. And I think it's just me coming out of survival mode. But I would, instead of going out every day to make some money, I would wait until the last minute when the bill due to go out to go make the money I need for the bill. When I could work every day and stack the bread up, and then when the bill come, I already got the bill money. Oh, but no, I wait to the last minute. Anywho, I don't want to spend too much time on each one of these because I don't want this episode to be too long. The next ADHD concept, masking, suppressing or hiding your ADHD traits to appear normal or to avoid judgment. You might force yourself to act organized even when you're spiraling inside. Over prepare or over explain. Feel exhausted from pretending to be fine. Um, I feel like for the most part everybody masks. Like, everybody is n- everybody wears different faces at different points in time. And And this one, I don't know, I don't feel like it's me masking my ADHD um traits, but I do feel like I did mask when I became a manager, I did mask my personality in order to work in management. When I first started driving the school bus, I was quiet. I kept to myself. I stayed on my bus. Um, just my regular introverted self. But then I started getting ambitious and I started realizing I didn't want to be a bus driver. And I want to make more money and so then I started striving to work in management. And so I remember my mentor telling me, hey, you got to be user friendly, you got to be more open, you got to get out and you got to speak to the people. And another um boss of mine, he was like, okay, I see something in you. I need you to come out of that hermit crab shell. That's what I call it, hermit crab shell. So I did what I had to do to become in management. I was a little bit more outgoing. I hated public speaking, but I had to do it because I had to conduct meetings and so now I'm not in management. I can be myself and I'm realizing that I was masking. I wasn't being, I was hiding my personality in order to be a manager. So that's me talking about masking. Sensory overload, becoming overwhelmed by sights, sounds, textures, smells, or touch. You might get irritated by certain fabrics or noises, feel mentally shut down in loud or crowded spaces, need soft lighting, quiet, or solitude to reset. Um, this kind of go back to what I spoke about earlier about how, you know, I didn't like lotion on my skin because I felt dirty. Like, I'm realizing that me having ADHD makes me very sensitive, and it's not just sensitive emotionally, but it's sensitive with my senses. Um, okay, here we go. Executive dysfunction, struggling with planning, organizing, starting, and completing tasks, even if you want to do them. You may forget steps and routines, struggle with transition or interruptions, feel like you're always behind. Executive dysfunction, struggling with planning, organizing, starting, and completing tasks, even if you want to do them. This executive dysfunction, I'm really struggling with this. Where I'm at in life now, where I'm trying to work for myself, I'm really struggling with making myself get out here and do what I need to do versus working for somebody and knowing, hey, I'm on the schedule, I got to go to work. If I don't go to work, there's a consequence. Uh, so that's a little bit more structured and motivating, but the self-motivation, um, which I read earlier that part of ADHD and the low dopamine, um, affects your motivation. So that made sense. So, yeah, I just wanted to discuss ADHD and kind of explain it. Um, and kind of give you examples on what I struggle with. I hope that it was helpful. I hope that you understand it better. I was conversing with someone I considered a friend, and I don't really share my mental diagnosis with everybody because people have the tendency to vilify um or make something bad that makes something that they don't understand bad. And so this friend of mine said to me one day, "Hey, tell me something about you that I don't know about you." And a couple of days went by, and I was like, you know what? This a friend. I'ma share with them I have ADHD. And I shared it. And I sent a YouTube video of what I thought kind of explained what it means to have it. But maybe it wasn't a good explanation. And so the person came to me and was like, don't claim that everybody got issues. Don't claim that. And I was like, okay, this is why I don't share it, because you don't understand it. Now I'm claiming, it was just irritating because a person, they'll be quick to want to tell you in so many words, ain't nothing wrong with you. From you being on the outside looking at me, it don't seem like there isn't nothing wrong with me. I'm just different. I'm wired differently. But people told me, just like my aunt had said it, ain't nothing wrong with you. It is. My brain is wired differently. The video I had sent my friend, it was talking about being forgetful, and they was just like, well, hell, we all forget things, that and the other. And I was like, okay, maybe that wasn't a good video to explain it, but I just felt the need that I need to go in depth into what it feels like to have ADHD. It's a struggle to stay motivated or to get motivated. It's your mind jumping a million miles per hour. It's I can't sleep because my mind jump a million miles per hour. It's I can't pay attention to you because I'm paying attention to them behind you and to them behind me and to the fly on the wall over there and to the ant that's walking down the wall. Like I'm paying attention to all these things. Um, it's being impulsive. It's but it's brilliance. Uh, It's getting shit done in a record amount of time because of hyper focus. It's pattern recognition to where you can finish somebody's sentence before they finish it. Or you can tell somebody how the movie gonna end at the beginning of the movie. It's sensitivity, being sensitive emotionally, but being sensitive with senses to the point where you can pick up on energies quickly. You can read people quickly. This is me. I I am very intuitive because I'm so sensitive. I'm so sensitive to energies. I'm sensitive to smells. I'm sensitive to cues and clues and details, and I'm very detail oriented. Like it's walking into a room and scanning the room, and then somebody tell you to close your eyes and tell them what you saw in the room, and you can detail give what you see. So it's a brilliance behind it. It's a gift and a curse. But I think that's, my friend call it duality. I think that's with everything. Everything can be a gift and a curse. Being neurotypical. I'm considered neurodivergent. Being neurotypical can be a pleasant and a curse. So um yeah, there's a brilliance behind it. But I hope that this episode helps somebody to better understand ADHD. I'm running into an hour. I haven't had an hour podcast since I started it. So, um, let's do a business highlight since we're talking about ADHD, mental health, things of that nature. I want to talk about therapy for Black girls is where I found my therapist. It's www.therapyforblackgirls.com. That's where I find my therapist. So if you're looking for a therapist and you're a person of color, you know, I don't want to, I'm here for all people. Um, yes, there's certain things that rather deal with somebody that look like me, a therapist, a gynecologist. Um, so this is why I looked up therapy for Black girls, because I'm a Black woman and I need a therapist, and I wanted a therapist that looked like me. But you don't have to be Black to go find you a therapist on this platform or any platform. Um, and also they have therapy for Black men, www.therapyforblackmen.org. So I just wanted to put that out there for those who people of color. I guess I'm all over the place with my thought, bear with me. I guess I do want to specifically reach out to Black women and Black men by giving them those resources, because mental health is so not talked about in the Black community. It's so swept under the rug, and demonized, and you just need Jesus, pray this, that. No, I need motherfucking help is what I need. I need more than just Jesus. I need help, you know. So guess that is for my people. Well, it's time to wrap this up. We're going on an hour. So here we go. Before I go, here's something I want you to hold on to. Say it with me. My brain works differently, and that difference is beautiful. I forgive myself for the things I forgot. It's okay if I need more reminders, rest, or redirection. That doesn't make me weak. My sensitivity is a strength, not a weakness. My nonlinear mind is capable of creating miracles. I am allowed to build systems that feel good to me. I choose rest without guilt. I choose ease without shame. I am grateful for my condition, and I'm not ashamed of my condition. Thank you for listening, as it is my intent to spread love through the sharing of my personal life experiences, and hopes that they will inspire you and liberate me. This is healing for both of us. Thank you so much for listening.